Welcome everyone to historic Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park for the opening rounds of the Bowling Showcase Challenge Edition. I'm your host, Mark Martin, and with me is my co-host, Stephanie Penksa. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thanks, Mark. I'm excited to be here for our opening round of matches. This year we are bigger and better with 16 teams competing for that title.
That's right, Stephanie. Over 15 weeks, we're going to be watching teams from various bowling centers and other groups going head-to-head in single-game elimination rounds until the final two teams square off and a champion is crowned.
And our venue for all this bowling action is right here, historic Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, in the very same arena where the classic TV show Bowling for Dollars was filmed. We'd like to give them a big thank you for hosting all our first round action. So Mark, let's get the ball rolling and tell us about the two teams competing on today's show.
This week's Bowling Showcase Round 1 Challenge features another battle of newcomers, with Plaza Lanes going into battle against the Ansara team. Two skilled and competitive teams looking to make it to the finals. Should be pretty exciting.
And we have a very special guest to help us bring you all this excitement, our special color analyst, bowling superstar, Team Canada medalist, and Women's Series standout, Robin Olakowski.
So let's get to it. We're going to move into position, get a better view of the action, but we'll be right back with the start of the match after these messages on Bowling Showcase. Owning and operating a bowling center is a unique business, and no one knows it like Sandy Hansel and Associates. We've been buying, selling, and valuing bowling centers for over 30 years. We've sold over 500 centers and valued more than 1,200 centers throughout the United States and Canada. We often assist the purchaser in securing financing, obtaining your liquor license transfer, and avoiding potential pitfalls unique to this business. Trust your next bowling center transaction to Sandy Hansel and Associates, bowling's only full-service broker, appraiser, and financial advisors. Visit us at sandyhansel.com. Okay, here we are in week 7 of the first round of matches in the Bowling Showcase Challenge Series. I got Robin Orlikowski with me. Robin, thank you very much for joining us.
Right.
We have Plaza Lanes versus Ansara. Lou Ansara is a big supporter of bowling in our Metro Detroit area and has put this team in. He's a part sponsor of the Ansara Shank team that bowled earlier this year. So now we've got Erin Brown for the Plaza team as the leadoff person.
She has 1-300 to her name and she's only 22 years old.
Okay, left the 2-pin, a little light.
A little light, but it's a good start off out of the gates there because you want to, leaving a single pin spare makes it a lot easier to pick up than those multi-pins. So she's seems to be quite the collegiate bowler. Graduated from Sam Houston State University. They actually were the 2014 NCAA champions.
So she's used to working bowling Baker.
She's used to it, and she's also been on TV before, so this is probably a cakewalk for her.
That's right.
There's a high series of 789.
Oh.
Misses just a little left there.
Boy, she didn't particularly care for that shot. Maybe a little nerves, even though she's got that experience.
I think if you're not nervous while you're bowling in these type of situations, you're not human, and maybe you shouldn't be doing it.
Okay, up now for the Ansara team is Paul Dalton. He's a bartender.
Seems to have a pretty powerful shot. However, he just missed a little right. I think the ball just went a little too long, it's leaving the bucket there. It's a 2, 4, 5, 8 count.
So his claim to fame is he had at least 10 299s before he got his first 300. That's pretty amazing.
I was also a bowler who went through that same situation. However, it was the 11th ball that always got me, not the 12th ball. So I'm glad to see that he finally has it under his belt.
Next up is Craig Johnson from Taylor, known as CJ. High series of 868, and he's a drag racer and a truck driver. I don't know what that means, but...
Well, I just hope that he has good life insurance.
That's right.
If you're a drag racer.
And I hope he doesn't come up behind me on the freeway.
Good shot there.
Good shot.
You can see he's got quite the hook going on too. He's fairly left on the lane compared to the other bowlers we've seen so far.
And next up, for the Ansara team, Crystal Niedermeyer. She used to bowl in the women's series, hasn't bowled recently. Hopefully she'll come back. She did win the MD USBC 500 Club tournament a couple years ago. 205 high average.
All right, that ball was a little light in the pocket there. Luckily she got the 8-pin out, leaving the 210. So what she's going to want to do is hit the left side of that 2-pin and shoot it across lane into the 10. And it's a difficult spare to pick up, a difficult split to pick up, but it is doable.
Her home center is Woodland Lanes, so she must have been the alternate choice for the woman on the Woodland Lanes team, is what I'm assuming.
Why would you say that?
Well, because Woodland is her home center. So
Gotcha.
she got one.
All right, so
Garrett Nagel for the Plaza Lanes team. You know, each team has an open frame now.
So it's still a pretty anybody's game now. A little flat there, leaving the 10-pin. So I don't think this is going to be an issue for him with his high average of 237. So he's had many opportunities to pick up 10 pins before. So let's see how he does under pressure here with the TV.
He's got 2 Michigan Majors titles, so he's bowled in high-level competition. Good spare.
Using his spare ball there to cut down the hook from his ball, so he can pick up that 10 pin without a problem.
Jonathan Murphy lives in Warren. His home center is 5-star. And, you know, these bowlers on the Ansara team, Lou Ansara has a tendency to pick the best bowlers he can find, wherever he can get them from.
Well, when he's got the highest average of 242 in his life.
242. 24 years old, too.
He's a young gun that has a lot of potential still, I think. Wow. I saw him warming up, and he was throwing wood all over the place. So I'm surprised that that ball did not carry.
That one was maybe a little too solid.
A little too solid.
You know, throwing the kind of ball he does, and a lot of the high rev rate players that are out here, hitting them a little light sometimes is better than hitting them solid.
Yeah, it depends on which center you're in, how, you know, what oil you're using, even the type of pins that the center has. Depends on, sometimes if you want to go high in the pocket, flush in the pocket, or even low. So nice to see that he converted that spare without any issues.
Scott Bowersock, he's got 4 Metro Detroit USBC titles. He's won the doubles a couple times, I know, with Eddie Mintz.
All right, easy spare now.
Oh, I see a finger up in the crowd, but not among all the competitors, but among one of the spectators.
So this should be an easy spare to convert. Using the 5-pin, just throw your strike ball again at it. Some people like to use their spare ball just going straight down the middle, just to make sure that they absolutely will recover it.
45 800s, 4300s. Pretty impressive.
High series of 869, so he is quite the accomplished bowler.
Pretty impressive. Okay, for the Ansara team, Rod Radent. Rod is on the Storm and the Vice staff. He's in the Arbor Valley Hall of Fame, and he's a Michigan Majors champion.
He's another bowler that gives back to bowling by being a high school coach.
Good shot. Good shot. It's been a really tight match. It's only 1 pin difference so far.
That's how I like to see it. When it all comes down to the end, it makes it challenging.
Speaking of young guns, here we got Nick Cooper. Nick is a really accomplished player for 23 years old. His high average 240. He's on the regional amateur turbo staff and Columbia 300 staff, part of EBI. I remember Nick when he was really young back in 2008. Ooh.
Oh, it got it out. All right. Oh, I really
back in 2008, Nick was a youth bowler, and we held the junior gold championships in our area, and he was one of our scorekeepers. And he was just a young kid then, probably, let's see, 2008, he would have been like 15 years old. He had not qualified for junior gold, but came out and watched the competition and participated, and that may have helped fuel his passion.
I really like Nick's approach here. He's keeping his head very steady, and there's not a lot of movement in his upper body, so I can see why he's very successful.
Trey Raines, been around for quite a while. He's 27, he's a bus driver. High average 242, shot his first 300 at the age of 14. And he's been designated as the captain of this team.
Oh, he liked it off his hand, you can tell. Great
so
shot.
at the end of 5 frames, Ansara just took the lead. They've got 47 through 3 with a double. And the Plaza Lanes team has 67 through 4 and a spare, so they got a 10-pin lead. Nice little start to the match. So we'll see what happens when we come back. After these messages,
DeCarlo's Banquet Center in Warren is one of the finest full-service catering centers in Southeast Michigan with 7 banquet rooms. It's the perfect place to host your next event. We're known for offering great food and exceptional customer service along with affordable prices. From birthday and graduation parties to weddings, showers, corporate and church events, we provide elegance you can afford and the flexibility to meet all your needs. Our menus start at just $9.75 per person. Call DeCarlo's Banquet Center today to schedule your next special occasion.
The bowlers have now switched lanes. The Ansara team's got that 10-pin lead. What do you expect here?
I expect that both teams are still going to be going for that big W, so I don't think anybody's going to just hand it to each other in a silver platter, so it's going to be a great shot here.
We're going to find out right now because we've got Paul Dalton coming up for the Ansara team on lane 15. His first time up. He left the bucket and picked it up. Let's see what kind of adjustments he makes here.
All right, so that was better in the pocket there.
Yep, throwing pins everywhere, but that 7-pin wanted to stand up and look at him.
I would much rather shoot the 7-pin than the bucket, so we'll see how this goes for him, but that was a much better shot off of his hand. Paul started bowling at the age of 10, so he's been bowling for 20 plus years now. He decided to hook at it, picked it up no problem.
Okay, now up for Plaza is Erin Brown. She's our collegiate bowler, was collegiate champion her team was in 2014 NCAA champs. I'm sure she was pretty disappointed about going past that 2-pin in that first frame, and she'll make up for it right here.
Yeah, I think she's going to make a little bit of adjustment. She needs to go a little bit more flush in the pocket here. You can see her taking a breath. Good shot there. She was very solid.
Look at that
line.
6-pin just leaning up against the 10 and
Yeah.
just won't knock it over.
It's teasing it for sure.
It is.
So she's changing to her spare ball. I like to see that she's wiping the oil off of her ball, so giving her a fresh, clean surface to bowl with. She's a person that looks like she's using some type of switch grip thumb. She's also started her master's degree in healthcare administration at the U of M Flint location, so great for her. All right, so she got that one by the hair of her chin chin,
That's
and
right.
Helps her team out there.
And now up for the Ansara team is Crystal Niedermeyer.
She's got a high average of 205. She threw a very solid ball the first frame, first time she was up, so let's see what she gets here. A little left.
Crossed over, but it
Enough
counts.
to carry. Those ones you kind of just run off the lane and you're like, okay, I'm done.
That's right.
Don't look back.
Craig Johnson, or CJ as he likes to be called, now up on lane 16. Threw a strike back in the second frame. Let's see, nope. Yep, threw a strike back in the second frame. Got that one a little wide.
Thankfully got the 10 out there. So we've been seeing a lot of, we've seen some splits, big splits here. So he was really lucky that the 10 pin kicked out so that he can help his team. And the Ansara team is in a little bit of a lead here.
They're down by 11.
That busting up that split definitely helps keep them in the game. Okay. Oh, he was so powerful on that, he got the deadwood.
Oh, we got deadwood on 16, and like when one of our previous matches, our one volunteer, Mark Hurt, comes out there to clear the deadwood. Appreciate him doing that. Gives us an opportunity to kind of recap the match. And Sarah's up by 11 pins, working on a strike over Plaza, who's working on a spare. And Sarah's up next. And Jonathan Murphy, if you recall correctly, back in the third frame, threw a pretty powerful ball, and that 6-pin just went right around it.
Yeah.
Right around that 10 pin.
Yeah. Oh,
and it
boy.
happened again.
Another great shot. Wrap 10. He is so powerful. And sometimes that can be a good thing, and sometimes that can be a bad thing, because you need your ball to read the lane and roll up in the lane, and his might just need to slow down just a little bit so that it can grab the lane and get into the pocket at the right angle to get that 10 pin out.
Okay, covered that. So next comes Garrett Nagel.
He's been part of a state high game with the team members, shooting a 1384.
Pretty impressive.
That's
Pretty
high.
impressive.
He has 13,800 series to his name, 24 300s.
Boy, they just cannot get a strike.
And I think there's bubble gum on some of those pins.
Or like we used to say, they can't even buy a strike.
No,
Or if they could, they don't have enough money.
maybe they only have 9 cents versus 10.
That's right. So you're trying to say that was a 9-penny shot?
Yeah.
Good cover.
All right, Lisa got the spare.
Garrett's supported by his dad, who's in the audience today. Okay, now Ansara. Ansara is up by 12 pins. Both teams working on spares through the 8th inning. 8th inning, listen to that, 8th frame. I think it's baseball season, not quite. Even though it's not too far away.
Spring training soon.
Rod Raiden.
All right, tugged it just a little bit, misses mark, a little left, leaving the 3, 6, 10.
Looks like he kind of grabbed that one at the bottom, eh?
Yeah, I think he grabbed it and it's missed tugged it a little left. Just wasn't clean off his hand.
He's a pro shop operator. Like so many of these bowlers, been bowling since the age of 7.
And so many of these bowlers work in the industry too. All right, just enough of the 3 pin to take it out with the 6 in the cup.
Now we have Scott Bowersock again, lives in Dearborn Heights.
This is the 9th frame.
Yeah, it's the 9th frame.
So foundation frame here. Oh, solid strike
Big
there for his
foundation
team.
frame.
Tripping out the 6 to help his team.
You know, this match is really tight. It's 9 pins. Plaza's on a strike. The Ansara team's on a spare. Could we see a tie? Yes, we could.
That would be interesting.
It's always possible. And again, as we talked about in some earlier shows, when that possibility possibly existed, it's a 1-ball roll-off between the 2 teams. Each team designate a bowler, 1 ball if there is a tie.
All right, leaving the 10 pin there. So
Strikes have really been hard to come by in this match.
the door has
The door's swung open.
it's open a little bit now.
It's going to
So
come down.
this is an important frame here for him. I hope he's very focused that takes his time and picks this up because this is very important for his team.
Sure he was. Trey Raines here, the captain of the team, bowled in our Masters many times, bowled the State Masters, was in the, I think last year in the State Masters, as I recall, he was in the top 4. So he's pointed himself pretty well at such a young age, only 27 years old. But he did cover that 10 pin. And so a strike here would give him 192. And that would cause and force Nick Cooper to throw the first strike in a 10th to have a chance at winning.
I love when it comes down to the end here.
It is. It's nice. It's definitely nice.
And that's what bowling's all about, you know, just doing the best you can when you're put in that opportunity.
Okay, so we've got 9 pins, so 191 for the Ansara team. I'm sure Lou Ansara is happy with that if it ends up being enough. And if it doesn't end up being enough, well, let's see. I'm sure they'll have a talking to.
Well, he still has a team in it with the other group.
That's true. So Plaza Lanes, Nick Cooper now is the anchor person. He needs the first strike for sure to get this match. Anything less than a strike right here, and the Ansara team wins the game.
Do you think he knows that? Did he look at the scoreboard?
I'm sure he does.
Oh, there was a big breath right there, so I think
I'm sure he does.
aware of what he needs to do for his team. Great solid shot, little wide.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I think that...
that gives Ansara the win.
Well, darn it.
Because the best now Plaza can do is 184 with a cover and a strike would be 184, and Ansara is already on the bench with 191. So it looks like their sponsor is going to be happy with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Lou Ansara is such a great guy. I mean, but he doesn't take anything less than the best.
Oh no, he misses a little to the right there.
Well, at that point, it really didn't matter.
No.
For the final score of this match, Ansara 191, Plaza Lanes 172. I think both teams had a devil of a time just getting strikes.
Yeah, this match was pretty equal going in. I mean, it wasn't much difference. And
There was a grand total of 5 strikes between the two teams,
yeah.
with 2 of the highest average teams in our competition.
It just shows, I mean, it's not necessarily how you average, it's how you perform the day of.
That's right, exactly. So it was a great match, and Ansara again won 191-172. And we'll be back right after these messages with the interview Stephanie will interview the winning team, the Ansara team, and I'm sure they'll talk about Lou Ansara when they do that on Bowling Showcase Challenge Edition. The Michigan State USBC Women's Bowling Association provides recognition and tournament competition to all levels of women bowlers. Competition include Women's State Tournament, this year in Bay City, State Queens in Holly, and the Midwestern Women's Tournament in Dayton, Ohio. Recognition includes first-time 300 game and first-time 600, 700, and 800 series. Visit MichiganWBA.com for entries for these tournaments and more information on women's bowling. The Bowling Centers Association of Michigan is a nonprofit trade organization that protects, promotes, and advances the interest of its members and member centers. It is the only association in Michigan affiliated with the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. Benefits include group purchasing programs, tournaments, annual convention and trade show, education seminars, and legislative representation. Interested in becoming a member? Contact Bo Gergen at 989-600-0992 or visit mibowl.com.
Congratulations to Ansara on their 191 game against Plaza Lanes with their 172 game. Now, what was your mindset going into this game?
We just wanted to make good shots and make our spares, and that's what we did.
Well, you guys definitely came out on top. It was pretty close, so congratulations to you guys. You guys did awesome.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mark.
It's all about the mustard.
Okay, so another winner. We're 7 weeks into this competition. We got 1 week left to go in the first round. And Ansara just kind of hung along all game, and nobody took control.
No, it was give and take, give and take. It's like, who wants to win this game? And then it came down to the 10th frame, and it was what's going to happen, and Ansara was emerged the champions.
We've seen some matches earlier in this competition where it kind of like up to the break, it kind of was that way, and then one team took off.
Right.
And it just didn't happen this time.
Not this time. It was definitely came down to the wire, and it makes it real interesting.
Well, Plaza had their chance. If Cooper could have got strike in the 10th frame to start, they'd have been right there on the doorstep. But it wasn't always meant to be. Like you mentioned, it doesn't really matter what your average is. It's at the right time.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so next week we've got Rose Bowl and Lady Liberty bowling against each other in week 8, or the final week of our first round matches. We look forward to seeing you then, and this is Bowling Showcase Challenge Edition.